What is up, you YouTubers? It's Harpy89 and the voices in my head coming at you from the Duelist Den, and welcome to part 2 of our first ever Q&A video. Now, I uploaded the first part of this video yesterday. I will have the link to that video down in the description box below, so you guys can go and check that out. Without any further ado, let's get into the rest of these questions. But before we do, I just want to remind everyone out there to like this video, subscribe to this channel, turn on that notification bell, and follow all the social media accounts which are linked in the description box below, so you can stay up to date with everything happening here at the Duelist Den. So let's go ahead and get started. First question put forth by Mike Shaw. Why is the Yu-Gi-Oh community against razzing? Have you ever been on a Yu-Gi-Oh Facebook group? We have nothing against razzing. That's one of the best parts about this game is the razzing. Anyway, question 2 put forth by James Smith. What do I like about the game? Well, there's just so much about the game that I love. There's the mechanics of the game. I enjoy those. I love the community in the game. Yeah, there's a lot of razzing, but you do make friends playing this game. The people you get to meet, the competitiveness of it. There's just so much I love about this game. I don't think I can narrow it down to just any one thing. Travis Fenning puts forth this question. What would you suggest new players invest in to get started? Well, Travis, the best thing new players can do to get started, especially if they want to build a somewhat competitive deck on a budget, is to invest in 3 structure decks. Something like 3 of the Dino structure decks or 3 of the Counter Fairy structure decks, which in my opinion are 2 of the best structure decks ever created. Those would be the best options for a new player just getting into the game if they want to invest in a deck that doesn't cost a lot of money but can still play at a somewhat competitive level. Now, obviously, there's some tech cards that they might need to get, such as Guiding Aerodyne, which is in the Counter Fairy deck, maybe a couple of the Dino cards, like Big Evolution Pill or something for Dinos. You know, there's always going to be a couple tech cards that those decks don't have, but buying 3 of any copy of a structure deck is probably the best way to go. Jackie Williams puts forth the question, do you think Konami should have a similar format to Magic the Gathering's Commander format? Jackie, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, not Magic. Alright, now, personally though, I love the Magic the Gathering Commander format. I love playing it, but I just don't really see how we could implement that in Yu-Gi-Oh! As Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have an extra deck that we utilize and Magic the Gathering does not. So it'd be really difficult to implement an idea like that into Yu-Gi-Oh! If you have some ideas on how to do that, please, I would love to hear them down in the comment section below. Next question. This is a Duel Links specific question put forth by Nafiz Saeed, and I apologize if I murder anybody's name on this video. But the question is, do you think that getting gems and pulling popular cards from packs is looking more difficult? No, I personally don't think it's getting more difficult to pull popular cards and get gems. I mean, yeah, the higher the level you are on the game, the harder it is to get gems because the more of the harder difficulty it is to complete the missions and whatnot. And that's to be expected from any game that you ever play, at least any online game that you play. Yassine Williams, explain how Aegean the Sea Castrum works. Read the card. It's not complicated. But Aegean is a card that allows you to banish a monster from your opponent's extra deck, and it gains the attack of that monster. And during either player's turn, you can detach a material to return a Fusion Sinker or Xyz monster that's banished to your opponent's extra deck, and then destroy a monster on the field that shares the same card type, Fusion Sinker or Xyz. So, I mean, it's not a complicated card. You just have to read it and know how the card text works. Next question put forth by Jesse Collins. The question is, what's your favorite trap card? My favorite trap card is Harpy's Featherstorm. Why? Because it can search out Harpy's Feather Duster. Seer, archetype or deck that irritates you the most, and this was put forth by Seju Yuyar. I'm not sure. I've got the name down here on the bottom of the screen for this guy, but I don't know how to say his name. Like I said, the archetype that irritates me the most, outside of the wannabe Harpy decks like Raid Raptor and Dragoonity and shit like that, I would have to say it's Fire Fist. Now, there's a whole story about that. If you guys want me to tell you that story, leave comments down in the comment section below, and if I get enough people who want to hear it, I will do a video over that about that story. See here, Ron Kaiser tell us when Stratos returns. Stratos ain't never coming back. Okay? He is on the permaban. Wait, we did just get Monster Reborn back. That card was on permaban too. Huh. I'll get back to you on that one. Marty Glenn, how do you spend enough money so you max out on the game and don't neg? Well, Marty, if you're talking about as far as building decks, or I'm not sure if you're talking about building decks or if you're talking about just investing in the game in general. If you're talking about decks, like I said earlier, 3 structure decks is the best way to go. If you're talking about just in the game in general, then you really want to pay attention to what decks are doing well. Cards that are in decks that are starting to do really well will generally raise in price. Cards that are in decks that aren't doing very well will generally start to lower in price. Another great idea is staples. Staples are always good investments. Things like Dark Holes, Regekis, high rarity, bottomless trap holes, torrential tributes, so the Solon cards are always a pretty good investment. So, I mean, it's really just about watching the game, looking at the trends. It's a whole lot of work, but just you have to pay real close attention to the game. Next question put forth by Caleb Needham. Why can't the Seal of Orichalcos work with fusion monsters? Well, that's simple. Fusion monsters are extra deck monsters, and as long as the Seal of Orichalcos is out on the field, you cannot summon monsters from the extra deck. Plain and simple. Alright, while we're on that topic, Chris Rutz puts forth the question, what's a card you always want to run even if it is not good? Seal of Orichalcos. If I can put this card in a deck, I will. His second question, same one by Chris Rutz. What's an archetype you love because of the casual design or effect gimmick, but wish were better? Well, Chris, I would have to say that is Deskbots. I love the way the Deskbots work with each other, how they boost each other up, they protect each other, things like that. Problem is with Despots, they don't really have enough protection or searching, or well, not searching, but protection or spells and traps built into the archetype to really make it more of a competitive deck. Now, they are still a very, very good deck, and they can compete on a competitive level. They just need that one, just a little bit of a slight push to get up to a top tier status, in my opinion. So next question, put forth by Bakita Barbella Esmeralda. What is the benefit of having a Blue Eyes deck over having a Red Eyes deck? Personally, Blue Eyes are just a little bit more consistent, but in my own opinion, I don't think there's any real clear-cut way of figuring out which one of these two archetypes is better, whether Blue Eyes or Red Eyes. Blue Eyes obviously does do better and are on a competitive level, but Red Eyes does have the edge on a more casual play, on a more casual playing field. So it is really no real clear-cut way of saying which one of these decks is better. And the last question put forth by James Smith. What do you think about Gustos? It's a Harpy wannabe deck. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you come back for more videos. And until next time, this is Harpy Hunter 89 and the voices in my head. Just want to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not just a game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is life.